Welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the news podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Join us discussing the world of telecommunications, technology, and mobile innovations. From Florence, Riccardo Amati.
Welcome to a new episode of Math Podcast Perspectives on Mobile. I'm Riccardo Amati. The mobile ecosystem is being reshaped by rapid shifts in identity, messaging, and connectivity. Enterprises expect secure authentication, customers demand frictionless engagement, and operators must keep pace with new technologies like RCS while navigating region-specific regulation and business models. These pressures are forcing the industry to rethink not only how messages are delivered, but how trust, personalization, and monetization are built into the very fabric of mobile services. To explore these dynamics, I'll be speaking with Nathan Robbins, Vice President of Strategy at Syniverse. Nathan, thank you for joining the show.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Contributing to the technical backbone of global messaging and roaming, Syniverse plays a central role in enabling operators and enterprises to adapt to the expectations in communication and identity. Nathan brings a strategy lens to how these capabilities evolve in practice. In our discussion, we'll look at where opportunities are emerging, how APIs and RCS are shaping the next generation of messaging, and what business models will define future mobile engagement. We get insights on how providers and enterprises alike can turn innovation into measurable outcomes. Well, first things first, Nathan, about you and your team. I'm sure you guys tackle complex challenges. Can you share a recent example where your leadership directly shaped the strategy of your company in one of its domain, like mobile identity, messaging, or 5G? The first thing the first thing that came to your mind, really.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'd probably say RCS is the most recent example. There's really kind of two core things in my role from a strategy perspective that I focused on. First is helping us to stay focused on what the most important growth areas are. And second is how can we take kind of some complex ideas, complex situations, and simplify them so we can get the entire company working behind them. So anytime there's a new technology that comes to market, a change in the ecosystem, we work across both our product teams, our sales teams, our marketing teams to help us find the right strategy, find the right solutions for our customers, and deploy that. So over the past year, doing a lot of that, particularly when it comes to RCS.
Is it easy to explain what RCS really mean? I mean, we know what everybody understands what it means. It's a richer experience in messaging, basically. But how important it is to change, because sometimes there are resistances, I guess, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, RCS is really going to allow more personalization and more engagement. So does every use case need that? Definitely not. But for certain use cases that are really looking to kind of have a call to action for a customer, so whether it be a marketing use case, customer service use case, it's going to be a big shift in how companies are going to be able to engage with their customers.
Are they ready? Are they ready to change mentality a bit? I mean, beyond SMS, which is pretty simple, isn't it?
Yes, there's definitely some early adopters out there who are absolutely ready and innovating on it. I think it's still going to take us a few more years to get a larger group of enterprises there, but there's definitely a lot of market interest here.
And about the market, country level opportunities, highlighted reports like the Country Readiness Index. That's why I'm asking, how do you prioritize which regions or markets to target first, and in what domain mainly? Identity, RCS, new services, 5G, roaming?
So as a global company, you're absolutely right. Different countries definitely have different needs based on a number of factors. It could be based on technology adoption within that country, government regulations, different customer and enterprise needs. So for us, it's how can we have that menu of solutions that are going to meet those needs in kind of whichever markets there are. So for some regions, they're still very dependent on one-time passcodes via SMS. Others have adopted more advanced identity solutions. So for us, we want to offer solutions in all of those markets, kind of depending on what those markets needs. From an example like RCS, it's how can we support RCS wherever it's most needed. You've got some markets that have been doing it for a little while, so they're ready for more of the advanced use cases, while others are still very early in their adoption. So we're ready to meet customer needs wherever they are.
Right. Partnerships. You recently partnered with technology providers to enhance roaming security, messaging capabilities. How do these collaborations strengthen your offering in IoT, for example, or CPaaS or 5G?
Yep, no, good question. And even with as many solutions as we have, we're never going to have every solution for every customer need. And so while we've developed pretty comprehensive end-to-end solutions, there's always extensions that some of our customers are looking for. So one example would be in the roaming space. We partnered with Cellusys, who offers some roaming value-added services that can run on top of our IPX network for things like steering of roaming. On the messaging or CPaaS space, partner with companies like Authvia, who got some really interesting text-to-pay capabilities for customers that want to be able to send out an invoice to have their customers directly pay it. And so we're always looking at kind of across the ecosystem for how we can add more partnerships to our already existing solutions.
And Syniverse handles over 1 trillion message per year. Am I correct? Is my information correct?
Yes, that's correct.
That's a lot. How do APIs and the end-to-end solutions you were talking about help your clients not just to deliver, the right messages, choosing the right channel at the right moment, but how to monetize, how to translate engagement into tangible business results?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Obviously, Troy messages quite a bit. So we've been doing the scale of messaging for quite a while. We've seen CPaaS out for a while now, after a number of years, and we're continuing to see kind of those CPaaS platforms evolve. I think one of the key areas where businesses are able to see that kind of core engagement with their customers and get that ROI is through different APIs and integrations with their core business systems. So as enterprises are able to integrate with an HR platform, it can really change how they engage with prospects for employment, employee communications. When an enterprise integrates with their CRM platforms, how are they able to better market their solutions, drive better campaigns, ultimately driving higher ROI? And so we're seeing a lot of work in the space over the past 12 to 24 months around these different integrations. And I think as with everything we're seeing already, that's pretty impressive. I think there's still so much more opportunity ahead of us the next couple of years about what enterprises can do with APIs and the different systems they're connecting to.
Do you have a recent example? I mean, you don't have to point to a specific client, but you probably can tell a story about how, in reality, that happened recently to you.
Yes. Yeah. So, yep. So I don't want to name any customers today, but we've got a large Fortune 100 company who does a tremendous amount of hiring. And what they used to handle all of that hiring, I mean, tens of thousands of people a year through kind of, we'll say, more traditional methods online. As soon as they enabled SMS to their recruiters so that whenever they wanted to schedule interviews, request next steps of a new form, doing that via SMS, they were able to greatly improve the speed at which they were able to onboard new employees, which of course, when you're looking to bring in that many employees, just shortening that cycle by a few days can make a really tremendous difference. And so for them, being able to leverage SMS and integrate that directly into their HR platform made a huge difference for them.
Mm. Could you describe the culture of your company? At MEF, we're interested in innovation and accountability. I think these are really the two pivots, of the mobile ecosystem and of its development. So how do you cultivate this culture? especially when developing client-facing solution, different solutions like RCS messaging, as you were saying, or identity verification. Could you describe how you tackle challenges culturally?
Yes. So our core culture is very important to us. One of our core values is reimagining the possibilities. That really kind of drives to innovation. From my team's perspective, from a strategy perspective, we obviously play a really important role in that. I think one of the key things that I do for my team is starting with education. We spend a lot of time highlighting different market trends, ecosystem challenges all around us, making sure that all of our employees are understanding the dynamics that are around us and the areas that we're focused. And this definitely helps get more people involved, helps everyone across the company work on those same priorities. And then from an accountability perspective, once we've kind of aligned as a company on what our priorities are, we really work collaboratively across the company on developing our plans, our budgets, our roadmaps. And then once we've established those roadmaps and timelines, working very collaboratively to make sure we hit those key dates and deliver on time for our customers.
Nathan, in general, for the industry, I'm not talking about Syniverse, just, from your point of view as your insights in the industry, from your experience, is regulation a friend or a foe for innovative technologies?
It's a great question. I mean, obviously, industry regulation is a really important component. I think across the industry, it can be both. I think in some areas it definitely hinders speed, but I do think that there's some times where it can kind of help focus industry players in a certain area, kind of saying, here's what you should be doing, but that kind of then drives focus on what would be beneficial for the industry. It is definitely country by country dependent, though, there.
Looking ahead, what are the key growth areas for Syniverse over, let's say, 3-5 years? Uh, in the Give me, ideas about the different segments. Uh, Again, messaging, RCS, APIs, emerging technologies. What do you see? What do you see? What are you preparing as strategies on these fields?
Yes, so we have our two business segments, and we've got some pretty good growth optimism across both of them. Great optimism in the messaging space. I think overall messaging traffic is going to continue to rise, even for kind of core SMS use cases, but definitely for new use cases or new channels like RCS, WhatsApp, continuing to see huge traffic growth. Many enterprises are still very early on their overall messaging adoption, and so they're still finding new use cases, new ways to leverage messaging. So nothing but growth from my perspective in terms of messaging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as on the mobility and roaming side of our business, we've yet to see really true 5G SA roaming. So I think there's still a whole world of possibilities from a roaming perspective that are on the horizon. We're seeing a lot of really interesting things with the evolution of satellite connectivity. And so I'm excited to see ultimately just all the different growth potential and growth angles that are coming in terms of how we connect people as they move and travel around the world.
Uh-huh. And what's the perspectives for APIs? We are. It's becoming even an aggregator. There are companies like Ericsson, etc., building together something here. What's your point of view on that? And in general, APIs allow telcos to open up, different messaging services, voice, video channels directly to enterprises. This is the point, isn't it?
Yes.
What are the opportunities there specifically?
Yes, there's been a lot of market news around APIs recently. We at Syniverse are engaged with both Aduna, kind of the Ericsson joint venture, as well as the GSMA Open Gateway. APIs have been around for a while. Obviously, most big tech platforms and software companies are leveraging APIs in their development. But the monetization of APIs still relatively nascent, still really focused on identity. I think there's a lot of momentum to try to do more with that, and we're working with those groups. I think time will tell how quickly we're able to see that monetization of other types of APIs. But there's more industry push there than I've seen in a while.
Yeah, in the past it didn't work. Let's say let's confront this reality. Now, what is different now?
I think there's two things. I think there's an overall need of network operators to continue to monetize their 5G investments. They've spent billions and billions of dollars developing 5G networks. And so I think there's a hope that APIs will help them create new use cases that they can monetize. I think this is also the first time we've seen such collaboration between both all the mobile operators around the world with many of the core telecom vendors, really all working together. So I think that collaboration will hopefully speed things up and provide a little bit more of a commonality or a marketplace for some of these things.
How important are data in for to get what what you were saying, to monetize at the end of the day?
Yes. Yeah, no, it's a great question. I mean, both operators and vendors have more data than ever before, and so data really is, I think, kind of a key to all of this. And then it's figuring out how best to leverage that data that maybe an operator has, so that they can monetize it, while still making sure they're keeping their customers' data very safe. So it's that kind of aggregated level of data, but that really is kind of the goal that many people are looking to mine.
Yeah, right. So thank you for your insights until now. And let's go back to the company, really. How do you foresee Syniverse develop in these sectors we were talking about? Just, in general, telecommunications, mobile identity. What opportunities exactly all the innovation will create to Syniverse, to its clients, to engage customers, increase loyalty, improve profits? I mean, to grow the industry at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, so each one's a little bit unique in terms of how we're working with our customers. But if we look at the messaging side, it's really helping our customers best understand what their needs are and what business problem they're trying to solve, so that we can work together to find them the right channel they should be leveraging. What's the right CPaaS integration they need to be developing? But ultimately, it's not just developing or deploying a technology solution, but it's around what's the right thing to do to help them grow their business or better improve their customer experience. On the roaming side, it's all around looking at kind of where are they in their 5G evolution and making sure that they've got the right tools to support their customers.
Right. At the end, you are the person that can give advice to industry leaders looking to leverage messaging and mobile identity solution to turn all that into the loyalty and business goal, into reality. What advice would you give to the leaders of the mobile ecosystem?
It's an interesting question. I think the first thing I would say is there really is no silver bullet or magic solution. Every company is going to have a little bit of a unique formula to success here. I think there's probably two common themes where we see success and that are really important. First is around timeliness. The more real-time the information you can provide and get it to a customer when they need to see something, that's really important. And the second piece of that is around personalization. The more you can tailor your content or your message directly to a customer, that's going to make it much more likely they're going to kind of follow through on the call to action. So ultimately, it's how can you provide prompt, real-time information in a personalized, contextual way.
That is a communications platform as a service, CPaaS. I mean, like your company are going to be probably, more and more necessary. I mean, what else could provide all this, different offerings to a client at the moment? It's just you. Talk to me as if I was, and I am, completely. I'm not an expert at all.
Yeah. So it's interesting, kind of what value does CPaaS provide to the ecosystem? I mean, from my perspective, CPaaS solutions are would allow enterprises to really, in a meaningful way, engage with their customers. And traditionally, what would have been only via SMS, it's now you can include multiple channels. So it's any of the OTT applications like a WhatsApp, RCS. And so you start looking at use cases. If I'm an enterprise and I want to make sure that the person I'm talking to is the right person, how do you authenticate them to make sure on both ends, everyone knows who they're talking to? We're all busy people traveling around. Every time that your train or your flight is delayed, providing that information so that a customer in real time knows that maybe there's been a delay or change to their service. We're doing more and more financial transactions via our phone, whether that be sending money to a friend, making a bill payment. So being able to receive those real-time notifications that payment was successful or a reminder to do so, it's really important to be able to provide that additional context, and not in a form other than email. I think we all receive a lot of emails every day, and so SMS is a way to elevate it a little bit more, so it's more in your hands and in more real time, and you can probably take action on it a little bit quicker than if it gets buried in an email, particularly if you get a lot of spam email. So ultimately, it's really a way for enterprises to better engage with their customers wherever they are.
Among your clients, what sectors are more important for you as a company? You were talking about travels. You were talking about finance. Fintech are buying telcos now, so it's becoming more and more part of our ecosystem. Apart from that, what's the main kind of client for you? Travel, financial?
Yeah, for us, I'd say the biggest ones are usually kind of financial services companies, travel and hospitality, retail, healthcare. Really, the commonality of all of these are looking to establish kind of meaningful conversations with their customers. They've all identified an opportunity to make sure that they are able to have that communication channel open, and in ideal situations, having a two-way channel back and forth.
Last question, we ask it to almost, not always, but almost always to people that do strategies. How if you close your eyes, for some moment, and you don't need to do it, but and you think and think about the mobile ecosystem in 10 years, what do you see?
That's a great question. I usually only get to think about a kind of a 3 or 5 year horizon, but I mean,
You
yes.
take your horizon that you want. But yeah, at least 5 years, I would say.
Yeah. I had a mentor a few years ago who kind of said in the telecom space, we tend to overthink what's possible in the short term and underestimate what's possible in the long term. And so to me, that really says, hey, in 10 years, it's almost really hard to fathom how much progress we'll likely have made in terms of how we're engaging. I think we'll definitely see whatever's beyond 5G at that point, 6G. But at that point, we're going to have all the speed and the bandwidth any use case really can need. So I think telecom is going to be a lot less about speed and bandwidth and more about having the right kinds of connections. And so really kind of having a truly probably integrated solution where you've got messaging, connectivity, all the different applications where I'm sure everything's going to be in the cloud at that point, all working together to almost have real-time information constantly at your fingertips.
And no dropped calls.
Yeah, definitely hope no drop calls in 10 years.
Thank you, Nathan. Nathan Robbins, Vice President Strategy at Syniverse. Thank you for joining the show.
Thanks, Riccardo.
That's it for this edition of Perspectives in Mobiles, the MEF podcast bringing you the voices of experts and industry leaders on technology, telecommunications, and the future of mobile services. I am Riccardo Amati. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and good luck with your work.
Thanks for listening to Perspectives in Mobile. Join us next as we explore telecoms, technology, and mobile innovations. Stay tuned, stay connected, and let's unlock the mobile potential together.